Look closely. While the news is showing you tanks in Europe and airstrikes in the Middle East, America is doing something else, something it is not really talking about. In the last 24 months, the U.S. has quietly pulled combat brigades out of Europe. It has mothballed bases in the Middle East, and it has moved over 60% of its most lethal new weapons to a place most Americans have never heard of, a tiny chain of islands 800 miles from China. This is not a routine deployment. This is the biggest shift of American military power since World War II, and the Pentagon just admitted it in a single line buried in a 2026 document. So, why is America secretly moving its entire army to Asia? And what does Washington know that we don't? I am going to show you 3 things: the secret map of new American bases surrounding China, the terrifying weapon that made this move unavoidable, and why this might be the only thing preventing World War III in the next 5 years. Let's get into it. For 20 years, America fought in the desert. Now it's leaving. The 2026 National Defense Strategy says it in plain English. As U.S. forces focus on homeland defense and the Indo-Pacific, our allies and partners elsewhere will take primary responsibility for their own defense, with critical but more limited support from American forces. Translation: Europe, you are on your own. Middle East, we are done. And it is already happening. The U.S. Army itself said it is keen to expand its access and basing arrangements in Southeast Asia as part of a strategy to deter China. For years, all its gear was pointed at Northeast Asia, at Korea and Japan. Now that is changing. Instead of giant permanent mega bases like we had in Germany, the U.S. is doing something smarter. The official plan is to bolster its presence through alliances instead of new permanent bases. The Pentagon calls it strategic flexibility. Military planners call it something else: becoming invisible. If you have one giant base in Okinawa, China can hit it with 10 missiles. If you have 50 tiny bases scattered across 3,000 islands, China has to find you first. 1. The Philippines, the front door. This is the biggest deal. America just got access to 9 new EDCA facilities in the Philippines. And military analysts say exactly why. Adding those facilities to existing sites in Japan and Guam would complicate targeting by the People's Liberation Army, forcing China to spread bombers and missiles over far more targets in a much vaster area. Look at a map. The northernmost Philippine base is 200 miles from Taiwan. It is a dagger pointed right at the Taiwan Strait. 2. Guam and the second island chain, the fortress. Through the Pacific Deterrence Initiative, Washington has committed tens of billions of dollars to forward basing, logistics resilience, and integrated air and missile defense. Guam is now the most defended piece of real estate on Earth. They are building missile defense domes, hardened fuel depots, and underground hangars that can survive a nuclear near-miss. 3. Japan and Northeast Asia. The Reload Japan just doubled its defense budget. The U.S. is putting long-range Tomahawks, F-35B stealth fighters, and Marines with anti-ship missiles on Japanese islands that have never had them before. There is even a proposal on the table for a brand new U.S. Northeast Asia Command just to manage a war with China. 4. Australia and the Deep Rear. This is where the bombers live. B-52s and B-2s now rotate through northern Australia, completely out of range of Chinese missiles. It's where America will build, repair, and launch from if the first island chain goes dark. Why now? Why so fast? One reason: the multi-domain task force. The U.S. Army plans to deploy a specialized task force to the Pacific capable of conducting information, electronic, cyber, and missile operations against Beijing. Let me explain this because it is terrifying. For 30 years, America fought insurgents with no navy, no air force, no satellites. China is the opposite. China has built a 1,000-mile bubble around its coast where U.S. carriers cannot enter. They call it A2AD, Anti-Access Area Denial. Thousands of satellites, drones, and hypersonic missiles designed to sink a $13 billion aircraft carrier. If the old American Army tried to fight in that bubble, it would die in an afternoon. So America invented a new army. Small teams, hidden on islands, with 3 superpowers. They can blind Chinese satellites and jam their communications. They can fire precision missiles from the jungle that can sink a warship 1,000 miles away. And they can disappear before China can shoot back. The Army is not moving to Asia to fight like it did in Iraq. It is moving to become a ghost army of ship killers. This is why the official 9 is, forces will be more agile and closer to potential trouble zones without the costs of permanent bases. So why is this all so secret? Because America has a dilemma. If it announces we are preparing for war with China, it triggers the war it is trying to prevent. Markets crash, China panics, Taiwan gets invaded tomorrow. So Beijing knows exactly what is happening. The Chinese Foreign Ministry already said, the U.S. move to strengthen its military deployment in Asia under the pretext of the so-called China threat is not conducive to regional peace. But the American public does not. The Pentagon wants deterrence without provocation. Here is the brutal logic. If China believes it can take Taiwan in 48 hours before America can arrive, it will try. If America is already there, hiding in the jungle of the Philippines and Japan with missiles pointed at Chinese ships, the invasion becomes impossible. Deterrence only works if you are already in position. America is not moving its army to Asia because it wants war. It is moving its army to Asia because it thinks this is the only way to avoid one. We are watching the end of a 75-year era where the U.S. Army was focused on Europe, and the beginning of a new era where every strategy, every dollar, every new weapon points west across the Pacific. The question is no longer if America will fight in Asia, it has already arrived. The question is whether being there will be enough. If you found this map as crazy as I did, hit subscribe. I am breaking down the new U.S. war plan for Taiwan in the next video, and you do not want to miss it.